Caladesi Island has hiking trails as well as kayaking trails. The trick for me was to figure out how to get there and do both. The first option was to take the ferry. I prefer to start my hikes around 20 minutes before sunrise. That helps my chances for seeing wildlife, and there's enough light to film at that point. State parks don't usually open until 8, so that would be the best I could do, but the first ferry doesn't run until 10. On top of that, if you take the ferry, you can only stay in the park for 4 hours. They limit the time so that everyone doesn't all try to take the last ferry out. But that doesn't give me enough time to hike and paddle all the trails. The second option was to kayak to the island. I probably could have reached the park when it opened without having to paddle in the dark. That would give me a full day there, but I didn't know what to do with my kayak while I was out hiking the trails. My kayak is not a typical kayak. It would be hard to lock up. The third option was to walk. Caladesi Island hasn't been an actual island for 35 years. It can be accessed by a 3-mile beach walk, but my next problem was parking. All the logical, convenient places to park all had a 5-hour time limit. That would give me less time in the park than the ferry. My research did eventually find a parking garage with all-day parking just a few blocks from the beach. So I parked, did my long walk on the beach, and hit the park boundary at 4 minutes past 8. Pretty good timing, I thought. The trails in the park are more diverse than I expected, many different habitats. And though the park opens at 8, the kayak rentals don't really get going till after the first ferry arrives. So I paid my entry fee and headed to the north tip of the peninsula, where I was hoping to check out the tidal pools I had seen on the map. Unfortunately, these are all roped off with do not enter signs on them. Once back at the park center, I rented my kayak and grabbed a bite at the cafe. Love it when there's a cafe in the middle of my hike. After I ate, I took the kayak path which led me off through the mangroves. I enjoyed the state park, though it was logistically challenging for me to do the specific things I wanted to do. Hopefully this info helps. I ended up doing over 18 miles, but 3 or 4 of those were sitting in a kayak. Here's how my day looked.